Hi there. Today I'm going to be talking about finding the percentage of a number. So when I was growing up, going through high school and university, all my friends always asked, how can you calculate what your mark is? So this example will kind of talk about this. In this example, we have a student, Derek, who receives 30%, who has an ISU that's worth 30% of his mark. On this ISU, he gets 50 out of 60. So what I'm going to calculate is how much of the 30% Derek earned, and knowing that he already earned 55% of the remaining 70%, what's his overall mark? So we're going to go through that now. So looking at A, we need to note, first of all, that he got 50 out of 60. Now, what I want to do is I want to convert this to a decimal, because with a decimal we'll be able to find out what the percentage is. So 50 divided by 60, we're going to get 83%, or 0.83. Note that 0.83 is the same thing as 83%. What the percent does is just move the decimal over 2 spots in this direction. Okay? Same thing goes to say if I said, what is 0.45? What that's going to be is 45%. And you can go the other way. If I said I got 75% on something, that's going to be equal to 0.75. Okay? So, we know that 50 out of 60 is equal to 0.83. Our ISU here is worth 30%. So if I want to find out how much a 35% is, I'm just going to take this 30 and multiply it by the 0.83. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell me what 83% of 30 is. And when I do that calculation out, all I got to do is multiply by 30 here, and we're going to be left with 25. Okay, so out of 30 marks, so out of 30% of his final grade, Derek earned 25% out of 30. That's not bad. So that's all there is to A. Now what this next part of the question is saying, okay, you know how much Derek earned on the ISU, and the remaining of the course he earned 55%. So if we take this 55%, and we just want to find out what the overall mark is, all we need to do is add it with the mark for the ISU. So 55 plus 25, that's going to be left with 80%. So, pretty good mark, pretty easy to calculate as well. If I just on the side here was wondering what would Derek's grade be out of the other part, what this 55 out of 70 is, what we could do is just calculate that by dividing the two numbers. So 55 divided by 70, that's 78%. So on his ISU, he actually did better than what he did for the rest of the course. So his ISU brought his mark up. Anyways, that's basically how you can calculate it. There's other applications of being able to find the percentage of a number, and that comes to, say, shopping. So, again, Derek, he goes to the mall and he wants a squash racket. The squash racket is $159.99. He brought $185 on him. Will he have enough money to purchase this? So what we can do is we can find out how much the taxes are. To do that, we have 13%. We know that HST here is 13%, so what we're going to do is convert that to decimal, which is just 0.13. And then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply that number by our 159. When we do that, we're going to get 59.99 multiplied by 0.13, $20.79, but since we have an 8 in the thousandths column, we'll round up. So 20.80. 20.80 is what you're going to pay in taxes on that. So all we gotta do is take our original 159.99, don't forget your units, and add the 2080 to it. And what we're going to get there is 180.79. 180.79. So there's actually another way of doing this, and I'll show you how to do that just over here. What we can consider is, if you're paying taxes on something, if you're paying 13% extra, technically you are paying 113% of the item, because you're paying 13% on the item plus the full price of the item. So what we can do is we can convert this to a decimal again. So we get 1.13, and then what we're going to do is multiply that 1.13 by 159.99. When we do that, we're going to get see, I forgot to put the decimal in there, so we'll try that again. 1.13 multiplied by 159.99, and we're going to be left with 180.79. That is the exact same value that we had before. So either way you do it, it'll work. But this is one step versus the two steps on this one. Either way it works, but I find that this side here is much easier. So if I'm in the store and I just roughly want to know how much it'll cost, I'll just pull up my calculator on my phone and multiply it by 1.13. Same thing goes for if things are on sale. Take the sale in consideration first. So say this was on for 50% off. What I would do is I would take my 159.99, multiply by 0.50, and with that we'll get 79.99, or say $80 even. 80 even. Now I would take that 80 and multiply by 0.13. I would multiply by 1.13. And that would give me my grand total. So multiply that by 1.13, and we're left with 90.39. So notice I didn't change in the calculator the values. Even though I wrote down $80, I left $79.99 in. It's not going to make a difference. It'll only make a difference once you're down to the thousands in the 10,000s column on the right hand side. So it's not, the digits are for the hundreds, which is the only one we really care about. It's not going to make that much of a difference. Anyways, I hope that this tutorial on finding the percentage of a number was helpful.